getting involved in this bot side, making sure that you're shutting down Ruler and the Hens. And if they're taken out of the equation, it feels like you have so many tools to actually deal with so many other parts of this composition for Gen.G. So I think you have options here as CFO. Like, I actually really like what they brought to the table.
Yeah, you'll have a little bit of early mid push. Top should be fine in isolation. It's all about that bot side 3v3. I think hit the nail on the head there. They need to be careful in the mid game of the range of Gen.G. The Lucian culling, the Nami ult, the Gragas ult from Fog of War, Akali flanks with these immobile carries. If they can mark it off, their front to back's pretty powerful in their engage, and lockdown is really, really strong. If you get hit by a Varus ult with no cleanse on the Nami, Leona's going to follow up, Syndra's going to follow up, the Maokai ult's coming in, Renekton W. There's a lot of follow-up and a lot of lockdown from CFO. They just need to find that right target.
And that's why I think their skirmishing is going to be so nasty coming into this. Like, pretty much any part of the map you lean towards, it just looks so good, and like you have so much burst potential on both sides.
Gearing up again, CFO. After their loss in our first game, in a do-or-die position up against Gen.G. Gen.G doing their best to barrel to the top of the standings. Try to fight back against RNG and take first seed coming out of this group. So the game, very interesting. Of course, highlighting quickly as the runes come up. Hail of Blades for the Varus doesn't definitively mean lethality. Lethality's far out of popularity for a very long time, but can mean more early aggression as it's a very powerful keystone.
So I'm looking at Shun's match history here. He does actually play the Hail of Blades Varus, but he doesn't go for the lethality. Normally you see the lethal tempo build being the on-hit build with Kraken Slayer and Wit's End and Rageblade, and the lethality build normally coming out of Hail of Blades with those quick autos and with the WQ proc. That's the damage out of the lethality, but I'm looking at his match history here and he's playing Hail of Blades with on-hit still.
I also think it just makes sense in the lane matchup, right? When you look at the way Gen.G want to trade, it's very, very quick, get a full combo in, use the fact you got first strike and like a little bit of extra damage coming through from the Summon Ares. So having that Hail of Blades means you can quicker get those procs, start to get a bit of help, but Gen.G going for a bit of a late invade here.
Did Mission spot them? I think he did there. Lots of question mark pings coming down, and Gen.G realize the top will lose in isolation. They will probably focus towards bot on both sides. So the best thing to do is late invade bot, and it looks like it's going to work because Gemini has to now move into his top side, Peanut's top side. And now you have the situation of a cross map. Lucian Nami in isolation against a melee support means they can push as much as they want. A little bit of poke will come out as a face check, but now they can control the lane as much as possible. Gemini is going to have to do some kind of Raptor's Red, backtrack through mid and fall behind in camps, perhaps, depending on how bot's situation goes. Not the easiest of dives with Graves Nami in the early stages, but if CFO take any bad trades, they will be very vulnerable.
I like isolating them as well in the first two levels. You know, Lucian Nami level 3 onward feels so oppressive. Level 5, even once you get a few more points in your relevant abilities. But Leona Varus is and has been historically a very powerful kill lane, doubly so with the Hail of Blades. So by having a Graves on this bottom side, it essentially says, if you all in CFO, you will die.
And it basically bypasses that, you know, level 1, level 2, where the Lucian Nami is actually relatively weak because you don't have access to that full combo. So you're giving them that opportunity to kind of stay in a healthy spot as they ramp up into this lane. So nice job here from Gen.G to understand exactly how they need to try and set up this bot lane for success, because like we said, this bot lane is going to be pivotal to the success of Gen.G if they want to hope for a good mid game.
Yeah, so Peanut's going to clear out the Crux. Gemini is going to do the same. Looks like we might just have a full clear on both sides. Gemini could look top here, but Rest, level 2, doesn't have access to that third spell. Does he have W is the question.
Gemini is willing to bring the flash already on the bottom side. Aggressive trading, just taking a lot of HP away, now getting it. He's going to get knocked back. Doran, the twisted advance following him. Where's he going to go? Not quite the body slam he was hoping for. First blood for CFO.
So this late invade backfires. Gen.G are aware that it's a split map situation, but Doran falls to a gank from Gemini. Did the exact same clear as Peanut, exact same gank on both side lanes, but Doran's the one that falls and loses his flash.
And I'm really surprised for this, because Doran, like, you know that you're going to be into this split map scenario, right? You're the one with the information, but his wave is already pushing out, so obviously messing up the way he wanted to set up that wave, letting that shove away from him, now gives the opportunity for CFO to make that play work.
Trading back on the top side. The Renekton getting the early kill so important. Hasn't had the opportunity to spend the money quite yet, so it's not too much of a threat to Doran at this stage. He's already gotten the back, but now the rinse and repeat, the Hex Flash, you love to see it. That vision, not going to spot it. No, it's too late. He's got to wait. Now he's going to go there. They can body block the body set. There's just nowhere for the Gragas to go. He doesn't have a flash. Rinse and repeat, baby. It's just so easy, but Doran holding on. Maybe he can just barely make it out. The Sapperling running him down. The tiny little Martian. Will he finish the job? No! Doran standing strong. He should not have been able to survive.
Rest invests the flash. They don't get the kill. Here comes the cross map from Gen.G. Hence pulling the wave. Wow, look at the damage!
The Ignite is big. The Ignite is massive. It stops any potential fall-off. The healing. The kill going over to Ruler as well. Koala. Will they go for the redive? Trying to get back under the tower to deny the Graves damage. You can't see. He's trying to lock him up. Little Hen's taking the tower. It's beautiful so far. Locking up Peanut, but he makes it out. Koala now in no man's land. There's no tower to protect him. and Peanut will take the kill.
Gen.G pull off the bot dive and they get a double kill there. One for Peanut, one for Ruler. Look at the CS difference now in this bot side. This is what Gen.G wanted from the cross map. Couple blunders coming out from Doran, but the plan has worked.
And now you need to see the help coming in for Shun and Koala, but it might be too little too late. A massive CS lead. You can see the gold difference on your screen. 1,000 gold in favor of Ruler. This has gone disastrously for CFO on the bottom side.
So hard now too. These UC mission just run out of mana. Chovy surviving his lane pretty well. Early healing, early sustain from Doran's making things easy overall. And Gemini found plays early game as we expected, but Peanut and Gen.G just getting more.
And you can see the level 3 hit from Ruler and the Hens take a couple of good trades and make this nigh impossible for Shun to survive. Cleanse into the auto. Now you get the follow-up, and I love the fact that Peanut ends up going in under here. You can see Koala's trying to guess which way the Graves has gone, because if you can hide behind the turret, maybe you have a chance, but the flash away from Peanut means that Koala gets sent right out from underneath that turret safety. And the problem for now for CFO on this bottom side is Peanut knows all your camp respawns. Like, he took them all initially, so with this push on bot side, Peanut can just go again into that bot lane.
Rhino stepping forward again. Bit of poke laid down. Good follow-up. CC, can they cut down Chovy? Chovy backing away. Low health bars. One more Dark Sphere. Will it be enough? Chovy still standing. This man, absolute patience. No flash burned.
Needs to be careful of Mission though. He's level 6. One flash QR could kill him. Chovy playing with a lot of respect, just trying to get experience from the creeps out of vision. If he levels up to 6 here, he will be able to survive, I think, the full combo. Gonna use W to walk up to get the cannon. Will pick that one up. The level up should keep him safe, but Mission has a lot of kill pressure here, and Peanut knows it, so he's gonna try and help
blood
out.
in his eyes. He thinks he's got the kill in his sights, but Chovy just keeping him baited, keeping him interested. Peanut not able to push for anything else as Mission plays down towards the bottom side. Gemini in the area as well. So many Saffronlings set up.
You can see Ruler and the Hens playing very aggressive on the wave in that bot side. They knew if that crashed and you happen to push Mission out on bot side, with Gemini there, might have been an opportunity for a dive, but rest.
Could ult and W here if he wants to go for a full dive. I don't know if he has the damage, but he's thinking about it. Trying to get the plate right now.
Taking his time, just a crocodile.
Oh, good time by Doran with the body slam. The second he pops the ult, instantly CCs him.
But here's that play I was talking about earlier, right? You've already got all these respawn timers on bot side, so now you've got push for Ruler and the Hens. They're going to use that to send Peanut into this bottom side and make sure they can make Gemini's life uncomfortable. So pretty good follow-up here from Gen.G and Peanut.
See what they can do to fight back a bit of this control. Of course, Saffronlings at least let them know that Hens is there, but Peanut casually strolling into the CFO jungle to take away this red buff. Now they know what's happening, but again, Gemini just going to go for the cheeky smiter up the wall. Of course, doesn't have access, so it's just forced to watch that one taken away as Ruler will actually get donated the red buff. Oopsie daisy.
Takes the red buff from his jungler. Giga Jad. Ruler doesn't let Peanut have the second one. Would have leveled up to... No, he actually wouldn't have leveled up to 6. He would have got very close. I think he's hovering in his bot side river now, taking his bot crab. Gemini ignoring the crab, going to the 3v2.
Forward, locking him down, already slow. They're trying to get this done, but Peanut's now coming in. They need to get kills immediately. Halo Blade's doing some work here. Now they need to body block. They need to keep Peanut away from Shun. Do they have what it takes? They're knocking him back. They're keeping him away, but Hens is a bloodthirsty Nami. He's trying to finish the job himself. Peanut's still standing for now. The knock of Koala. No! Doesn't step forward. Koala, I think he could have finished the kill, but he backs away.
The 3v3 goes in favor of Gen.G. It looks so good initially for CFO, but I feel like they were just slightly split on targets. Koala went on to Lehens, Gemini went on to Ruler, then Shun had to flash forwards to gap close, and Peanut arrived just in time to save the day. Chovy actually killing Rest there off screen.
Oh, that was so close for CFO, but good turnaround from Gen.G and good read from Peanut to get down into that bottom side. Just see it here, actually, on the top side, what happened here, because Rest, yeah, gets stunned just outside of turret range, gets a ton of damage, and Chovy then comes up. Oh, great cast. Keeping Doran safe on the top side.
Fade away.
The fade away indeed. Peanut's gonna pick up the dragon after that play. Oh, let's see this one again. Yes, we are. So let's just keep track of which targets CFO go for here. So Koala flash stuns Ruler, then lands the E onto Lehens, but then Gemini goes onto Ruler as well. I think they are actually trying to focus him down now. It's just a coincidental E from Koala. Now they're trying to block the auto attacks from Peanut, but he gets enough damage out next to Lehens to get that initial kill. Red buff Nami doing a lot of damage, and sustain keeps Peanut alive.
There's actually a great culling coming through from Ruler as well. Just manages to bypass the Maokai and get a ton of damage onto the Varus in the back line as well. So nicely done by Ruler just before he went down, and then unfortunately the drop bear drops the ball at the end.
Peanut?
I like the drop bear. I wasn't ready for that one. Okay. Not the 1v1 I was expecting to see in this game, but here we are, Gemini rather, zoning. Koala not quite level 6 yet, Shun not level 6 either, so this is pretty difficult to execute. Mission on the way down, trying to force this with a man advantage.
Do they go for it? Gonna back away here, Gen.G. Mission not gonna full commit next to Gemini. TP on Doran is maybe swaying them a little bit. Chovy now in the river, looking to see if he can match.
Chovy gonna do a ton of damage to Mission. They have to commit for the on, but he just goes invisible. He takes his time. It's so hard for them to do anything. Chovy already with Merc Treads. That's the weakness of this mid-jungle duo, is that you just get so much value out of that early buy.
Lucky phase rush there as well, coming out for the Maokai, I imagine, to get away, because there was a lot of members of Gen.G starting to group onto that play. So nicely done at the moment from Gen.G, and I mean, absolute rest.
Rest is trying to get something done. Knock back Doran, has to take the alternative way around now. Flash up and available, and this is so hard because, again, Rest was the one strong point on the map, and while he's still massively ahead in terms of CS, he hasn't been able to push his advantage to any greater lead yet.
And it's actually really interesting, because the way that we usually see this matchup, or at least it used to come out, was you take phase rush on the Gragas, right? Because then you could just belly bop as the Renekton went in, get the auto, get the Q, and you back away, and you don't actually get these trades. So going for the Grasp with the Undying has made it that you actually kind of have to stand there and face tank it a little bit more, which made it a little bit more difficult when Doran actually ends up with the end of the trade not going his way.
Getting that flash out early, crucial, and now the Herald started up, and CFO really behind the play. Mission still locked in mid lane, their bot lane wildly behind. Gen.G so far ahead in this Herald take. Yeah. No response here for CFO. They might try to force the fight anyway, but risky proposition. They've already lost out here. I don't know how much more they can afford to stick around.
It's a bit of a big blunder coming in from CFO here, because what happened was Gen.G swapped their bot lane top, got to the Herald first, Shun pushed out a bot wave, but then Doran TP'd to the tower. So that means CFO committed 5 members up towards this top side to get in time for the Herald, but Gen.G have already taken it, so Doran can pick up a couple plates. They got the Rest Flash, they got the Herald, so a lot of objectives going in favor of Gen.G right now. They will eventually match the 2v2, but Gen.G got what they came for. They can even decide to just push out top here, base, re-swap back towards the bot side. Herald didn't get a full tower for the Lucian.
And this is tempo hell for CFO. This is CFAT tempo. This is brutal, because in the meantime, Gragas grabs all those plates. They won across the board. There's no counterplay, and now they're fishing for an engage. They're just going to try to kill the Leona before anything else happens. Coling now coming up. It's unfortunate to stand forward. Graves, not quite the damage.
I think the pink ward's not in the bush, and Gen.G saw it. They saw the pink ward go down, not inside the bush, so CFO maybe got a little bit of fake confidence that they had base, so they canceled their recalls and looked for the pick. Don't get any summoners out of Koala, but they get the heal. They're incredibly low, and they can start pressuring this tower. Herald available, no TP on Mission. Peanut channeling the recall. No, he's going to decide to stay around. Is he going to pop the Herald is a question, or is he just here to cover?
I mean, either way, you're getting a ton of plates over towards Ruler and the Hens. They can even go for the reset now if they want to. Go for that play you're initially talking about, Kadro, where you end up getting that gold over towards Ruler even further. And this is a Lucian that has very much been set up to succeed, and Ruler is powering through that advantage that he's managed to pick up.
Such an incredibly difficult game for CFO. It started so positively when they got first blood on the top side of the map, when they were able to make the most of a split map, but that dive inside of Gen.G, Ruler, Lehens, Peanut executing flawlessly in that instance, it's all been downhill from there from CFO. They've made 1 or 2 plays to get some kills back, but even then, Gen.G has been consistently out-trading them.
And they're out-tempoing them in a sense as well, right? Ruler's running, bot. Rest is going to try his best to get the wave. Chovy's moving from mid to top to catch the wave that's been pushed in, so they're trying to juggle all of these creeps to make sure Gen.G can pick them up. And Peanut's going to go for the invade on this red once again. He is alone, though.
Confident man. This is his red buff. Oh, and he's going to let the world know it. Oh, and he's out. Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, Peanut.
All right.
Oh, Peanut. He always did things like this in the LCK as well. Very creative, on the edge a little bit sometimes with things like the Poppy, where he just kind of walks in and takes your camps or flashes over some random walls trying to find an advantage. Now with the Herald, he could drop it on this bot tier 1. If CFO's bot lane stays, they can get the full tower, and they're going to have to back away. We'll see how much they pressure here, Gen.G, because Dragon's spawning in 20 seconds. The easy play is just to let it crash, push in the wave, and go towards the Dragon. Harder play is to look for a tier 2. How hard do they want to force it? Peanut waiting for Gemini, who knows he's there. Herald will die.
Peanut stepping forward, looking to clear out a little bit more of the vision. Just laying down a bit of damage, running away, trying to get as much chip as they can. Ruler throwing down the calling, big damage. The Maokai coming in, it will lock up Peanut, but again, there's no follow-up. And meanwhile, on the mid lane, Mission getting run down. Doran landing the cast, the E connection from Chovy, getting for Cleave. Mission gonna make it at least a 1-for-1.
Gen.G are doing such a good job of splitting up CFO. It's divide and conquer is the goal here for Gen.G. If you can never get CFO set up as a 5-man group, they can't play to the strength of their composition. And in skirmishes, Ruler is popping off. Peanut's doing fantastic, and Chovy getting that 1-for-1 trade in mid means now Mission is not available for this next Dragon Box.
What I will say though is 1-for-1 is pretty positive if you take into account that Doran is roaming from top, investing flash and ult. Meanwhile, Rest can get a couple of plates, so his Renekton will get a little bit further ahead. Doesn't get the full tower though. We'll see if he maybe pressures it harder because there's no TPs on Gen.G. Should be able to pick that one up, but Gemini.
Red buff, Gemini running, Gemini.
Oh!
Still standing. Not even close, baby. Gemini makes it out.
But this is what I mean, right? The way that Gen.G are playing this is, hey, look, if we can get one person, get them low, force them out of the fight, even with the way Peanut came in to contest Red Bull, it means that you end up splitting open. Hang on, let's see if I remembered I got this tool. I'm actually trying
You're allowed to draw a deck.
the way you're able to look is like,
stories.
if Peanut actually comes in through here, but then it becomes really difficult for your Maokai to actually come down and contest on the bottom side. And that means that every single time Gen.G are able to just have these opportunities where they're splitting open the CFO team and not actually letting this composition work the way it wants.
Really good stun here by Mission. Pops the ult to make sure he gets as many balls on the ground as possible so that the stun will land despite the dashes. Manages to turn into a 1-for-1, but that's a rocket belt. Merc treads, Chovy, level 11, Akali, who will probably go to side lane soon because I think Gen.G, after cracking open that bot tower, will start to play a 1-3-1. TP's on cooldown for Chovy, but Doran has his on the Unleashed. Dragon still 4 minutes away. Herald up in 1 minute 20 means that Chovy will push out bot, move towards mid on every wave and try to hover see if Gen.G want a team fight around this Herald, see if CFO want to respond and look for that 5v5.
Big credit to Gen.G for how they've split the map. You highlighted it earlier, Dagda, shutting down so much of the strengths of the CFO composition as we see.
It's awkward.
One man making away from Doran? That felt personal.
Oh!
What? What did we just... What?
I mean,
hello?
So, I think he didn't have vision there, and he was unsure if Peanut dashed over the Herald wall with Doran and was flanking him. I would love to see that from Gemini's vision and Doran's vision, because I think both of them didn't really see the other. Maybe Doran had vision on Gemini, but Gemini did that just in case. Either way, both ultimates are down for this Herald.
That felt like an honor duel where you, like, drop your guns and you decide you're going to fist fight. They're like, we'll do this one without ults. I agree that there's a logical reason, but from our perspective, it just looked very silly. Wave going in. Gonna find one. Bubble gonna follow. Now we're not taking anchor though. That is maybe gonna be enough. It's done. It's big damage, but no one can follow up. Ruler already flying back with the calling. Massive damage coming in. Oh, and Gen.G, they smell blood in the water. They're ready to get done. Gemini just taken out.
Ruler just dashing forwards. No fear there whatsoever in front of 3 or 4 members of CFO. He knows that they have to run away because of the TP. Manages to find one on the back end. Does CFO look to defend this mid-tier one? Looks like it'll die.
Gonna try to re-engage though, gonna try to force the fight to flash back out to safety, narrowly avoiding the bubble, but there's just too much damage.
And you still have Chovy pushing in on the bottom side as well, getting that wave crashed in. So even though you don't get the turret in mid lane for Gen.G, you're still making sure that CFO are falling further and further behind. Rift Tower going to be taken by Gen.G as well. This is dominant from the LCK first seed.
We're looking at the silver lining point of the game now, gentlemen, where I look at their composition on the side of Gen.G and I say, well, they're not great at sieging. Well, maybe they're a little bit short range, but I feel like already we're grasping at straws, and it's only 17 minutes into the game. It is so hard for CFO to do anything.
CFO need to start picking up the pace a bit if they want to stay in this game. Gen.G are just going to run over them soon. The Varus ult looks good onto the Nami. A little bit more follow-up there, and that's a pick. It will slow down the mid-push. That mid-tower is also incredibly low, so best options for CFO is here. Try to group up, get this mid-tier one, and then play for objectives. Try to play for these dragon fights. Here's the TP invested to make sure that they can get this mid-tower. They know that they need to start controlling the map. Top-tier one's down, mid-tier one's down. Now they can play some kind of mid-to-bot shenanigans and match Gen.G when the dragon's up. Need to clear out some vision at the moment, but Ruler, 2.5 items right now on this Lucian. The best Lucian in the LCK, next to Lehens on the Nami. See how much power he has on these mid-waves. Gale Force on cooldown, but it's coming up soon. CFO really need to respect the dash forwards and the mobility of this Lucian.
Absolutely do. You can see, just as we saw in the previous game for CFO, falling behind, struggling, grouping as 5 again to try to reclaim something on the map, but there's always a cost. They're going to lose a few creeps here, a few creeps there. Gold just slowly getting away from them.
Peanut again is just... He loves this red buff.
They're best friends.
He's going to try to get it in. He's like, oh,
oh my god!
Even an ult sit as well. He's a jungler, all right. That's just the jungle's favorite.
Your ultimate is just a smite with a longer cooldown.
You know, at this point, it feels like he's achievement hunting. Like, is he playing a different game? Is there hold that thought. Big damage coming in from the calling. The Gale Force now to follow. Just barely able to survive, but they want to turn. Cleanse now coming out. Gemini throwing down the ultimate. Lehens will get locked up. Where's the follow-up mission? Ready to go in, and that's the opportunity. Ruler can't quite finish the job, but CFO can.
Good pick there from CFO. Ruler going a little bit too deep there on mid-wave. Manages to get the Syndra and the Varus flash, but loses his own summoners and loses his support.
It's a huge amount invested, though, by CFO with 45 seconds until that next dragon comes up. The Hens should be back on the map, and you have flash burn from Mission, from Shun, from Gemini as well. The ultimates are going to be down too. This is actually going to give Gen.G a good amount of control over this next dragon fight.
And they still have this Herald. Where are they going to put it? They could look to put it on a bot tier 2. Koala might be caught out here. No flash. Peanut will probably know that he's
going down. He's turning back. He's trying to run away. There's slow field on the ground, obviously from the glacial, but it's just not enough.
Yeah. He's going to get taken down. 20 seconds on the dragon. Don't think CFO can take that 4v5. Maybe look for something on this cross map top side, but I don't think they have the numbers to do so. There's the Herald placed by Gen.G.
And this is what we expected from Gen.G coming into this group. Like, this was the Gen.G that we saw in the LCK. Incredibly dominant, Ruler popping off, getting the support they need for Peanut with some really cool jungle pathing as well. And now they're just getting to reap the rewards. They get full control over this bot side. They get to move back over towards this dragon. You've even seen Chovy pushing in the bot lane. And honestly, Mission, like, it's okay while Chovy's ultimate's down, but the second that Akali's able to ult onto this Syndra, I'd be very scared as Mission.
Certainly would be, but here comes the TP. Desperation play, Rest just wants to be in the area. TP responds on the opposite side. Dragon getting lower and lower. Gemini can maybe go for the steal. Ulti over the wall. What is the play here? Just trying to steal, just trying to get it. For Peanut, he's not losing a single objective today, whether it be a red buff or a dragon, and the rest of CFO are waiting over the wall. Gemini just goes down. It's a disaster, and now the rest of the team looking to collapse, trying to finish the job. Chovy playing back, Chovy going forward, now leaping over the wall. Ruler looking for the 1v1, backed up by the Nami. CFO just have to run. There's nothing left for them in this game. The Flying Oysters, they've been grounded, they've been shucked. There is nothing left for them on the Rift.
Gen.G just gonna wipe them here. Mission will live, but only 2 fall for the side of Gen.G. Actually surprised that they actually lost members, given how well that fight started off with Gemini being so isolated. I didn't expect CFO to go for the Dragon contest, but maybe they thought that giving Gen.G Soul Point was as good as over. A little bit too late. The objective means the lack of vision, so the Gemini has to flash in and full commit. Doesn't get the Dragon in time.
Yeah, I mean, just a very big overextension from CFO. Even if you wanted to have Gemini commit for it, right, there's no reason for the rest of CFO to be here. Chovy in a fantastic spot as well to just zone the rest of CFO off. And there's just nothing left in the tank here.
And I will say, great smoke screen from Peanut. He placed it exactly where the Hex Flash landed from Gemini, so he actually couldn't see the objective, so didn't really turn into a 50-50. Gen.G then chased him down. Chovy falls here, goes a little bit too deep, but the rest of Gen.G managed to clean up.
And boys, it's rough. It's rough when the desperation plays where you're throwing resources to the wind just to try to get something back fall away from you. It feels a bit like despair, and it's hard for CFO because they had some really positive moments in the first week, but today, against 100 Thieves, it fell apart so quickly with the Caitlyn Lux lane. In this game, the split map, again, Peanut, that creative pathing that he was praised for so much domestically, really paying off, and now, yeah, their composition could have been great in 5v5, but at this point, they're just too far behind.
Yeah, just to reiterate, if CFO lose this game, they're out of Worlds. They can't make the quarters. Ruler looking for something there, but very far out of range. The Maokai ult invested to try to lock them down. CFO, can they engage on this? Rest, no TP. Looks like they'll back away.
Even with the Maokai buffs, with the speed up, he can't catch up to that one. So Gen.G will just back away. Chovy now actually feel himself against Rest in this side lane. That's never the position you want to see your Renekton in against the top.
On the backside, knocking 2 back into the team. Now the tidal wave coming out. Ruler sees Mission. He's got his target locked in his sights. He's going to finish that one. Peanut now running forward as well. Gen.G splitting apart CFO effortlessly, finding these kills. Will they turn to the Baron or the Tier 3? That's the only question left remaining as Chovy finishes that one.
Oh, Chovy.
Oh, wait a sec.
Go in here.
Yeah, he's feeling himself. He wants a little bit more. Buys time with the stopwatch. A brief moment. How many cooldowns does he have left? The flash out to safety should just go down here. It will get dropped in the exchange, but it will not stop the rest of Gen.G from turning to the Baron.
Chovy regrets the follow-up, but at least Gen.G will be happy with what happens now. Baron will go over in their favor. They should be able to close this one out nice and easily. Chovy's been totally fine to continue pushing inside lanes. You've got a good opportunity now with the way Ruler's been able to land and punch this culling to start pushing members of CFO off these structures and actually look to finally crack open the base of CFO.
Comes off the back of a barrel from Dora and knocks both carries. Absolutely beautiful. Both no flash as well. Mission is the strongest carry on the side of CFO. He gets focused down, then all attention turns to Shun. He then falls. Chovy goes a little bit too deep on the chase, thinking that, well, they only have 2 tanks here, the Maokai and the Leona. The Renekton, also quite a bruiser, has the damage to take Chovy down, but maybe underestimating the amount of damage that they put out. And now Gen.G with the Baron. They don't get it on Chovy, not the end of the world. They'll have it on the rest of the 4 members, but I think he realized he went a little bit too deep. He's having a bit of fun on the world stage.
He was fishing for the montage. He won't quite find it. Ruler, however, might. Backing away here, trying to outmaneuver on the Maokai ultimate.
Oh, the TP.
Okay, the Graves is hitting like a truck. There's a TP coming in the mid lane. Doran Let's chase down some of these kills. Chemtech now coming out, knocking back Shun, though they're not going to be able to find anything else, but Baron buff backing him up. Jungler down, surely this will be a broken inhibitor.
I mean, just look at Peanuts. 100 CS up in jungle, 3 levels up. He's so strong. I think he's 5k gold up as well last time I saw. Now the Siege coming in. They have 3 range champs to hit towers, but Syndra looking for stuns.
Oh my god. Syndra paying half for life to Mitch for the stun. Doran, Mikhail's Crucible coming in clutchable hands. A nice second buy just to make sure that CFO's options to re-engage or engage at all have been limited even further.
Doran?
Doran?
It's a little bit awkward, but he's fine. He's a beefy Gragas. He's just going to walk straight over the tower. 4 versus 2. They have to base their Mission and Koala to regen their health bars. Chovy's hitting that bot tier too, I believe, so that one should fall as well. No Baron buff though. And I guess Gen.G is just going to rotate into it to help him out with the Baron buff, or are they? Is Doran going to look... His ultimate's almost back off cooldown.
Right now, it just feels like surgical precision from Gen.G, splitting the team up, only pushing forward when they know they've got an advantage, when they know they've got a wave, not looking to risk anything here. Flash up for Shun, flash up for Mission. Maybe some room to maneuver towards a fight with the side of CFO, but such a difficult position they find themselves in as Gen.G retreat back to this jungle that they have so much control over.
And so points as well, right? As long as they can keep CFO away from this, they're actually going to fight them beforehand.
Bursting him down, and the knock-up, the chain CC, wait in the darkness, find the pick. And now the fight continues. It's already the jungler so incredibly low. Chovy looking for the re-engage. Mission getting cut down. Chovy, he's got another one locked in his sights, but Ruler fishing for the kill himself. Shun, I'm so sorry, brother. There is nothing left for you there. Ruler now unstoppable. Rest running for the hills, but Gen.G just taking their time as they try to ace CFO. One final member standing. They will find it. They will take the game for CFO. Not the finish to the group that they were hoping for in their final game. They are obliterated by Gen.G, and from start to finish, we are reminded why this team won the LCK. Ruler, Peanut, every single member popping off as they take down the Nexus.
Little to none mistakes from Gen.G. Clean, calm, and collected. 14,000 gold lead. Had a little bit of fun with some of the fights. Chovy going a bit deep, but CFO couldn't find the plays they wanted in the early game to snowball to an even mid-game state to actually contest up against Gen.G. So with that loss, Flying Oysters